What if a single act of bravery could change the course of destiny? You're about to witness a story so incredible, it defies belief. It starts with a young boy, a pregnant officer, and a moment of crisis. But what happens next will send shockwaves through an entire community, revealing a connection that will leave you breathless. This is a story of heroism, a twist of fate, and a miracle you won't soon forget. Are you ready to be amazed? The day began like any other in the bustling city of Oakhaven. The sun painted the sky in hues of gold and crimson, casting long shadows across the familiar streets. Jacob, a bright and spirited 12-year-old, was walking home from school, his backpack slung over his shoulder, his mind filled with the simple joys of childhood. He was a boy known for his infectious laughter, his unwavering optimism, and his uncanny ability to find the good in every situation. He loved his family, his friends, and his community, and he always looked for ways to make a positive impact, no matter how small. Officer Emily Anderson, a 5-year veteran of the Oakhaven Police Department, was on duty, patrolling her usual route. She was a woman of strength and integrity, respected by her colleagues and the community she served. But beneath her composed exterior, she carried a secret that filled her with both joy and trepidation. She was pregnant, expecting her first child in a few months. She was determined to continue her duties as long as possible, driven by her unwavering commitment to protect and serve. As Jacob approached a busy intersection, he noticed a commotion. A crowd had gathered, their faces etched with concern and confusion. He could hear the faint sound of sirens in the distance, growing louder with each passing second. Curiosity tugged at him, and he quickened his pace, his heart pounding with a mixture of apprehension and a desire to help. Pushing through the crowd, Jacob's eyes widened in disbelief. He saw Officer Anderson, lying on the ground, her face pale, her eyes closed. A car had swerved out of control, hitting her as she tried to assist an elderly woman crossing the street. The driver, panicked, had fled the scene, leaving Officer Anderson helpless and vulnerable. A wave of shock washed over Jacob, but it was quickly replaced by a surge of adrenaline and a fierce determination to act. He knew that Officer Anderson needed help, and he couldn't stand by and do nothing. He had always been taught to respect and obey law enforcement officers, but in that moment, he saw not just a uniform but a human being in desperate need. Ignoring the shouts of the onlookers, Jacob knelt beside Officer Anderson, his small hands gently touching her arm. He could feel her pulse, weak and erratic. He knew that every second counted. He had learned basic first aid in school, but this was different, this was real life, and the stakes were incredibly high. With a deep breath, Jacob assessed the situation. Officer Anderson was unconscious, and he could see a growing stain of blood on her uniform. He knew that he had to keep her still and try to stop the bleeding until help arrived. He carefully removed his backpack and used his jacket to cushion her head, trying to keep her as comfortable as possible. He then remembered a technique he had learned to apply pressure to a wound. He found a clean cloth in his backpack and gently pressed it against the source of the bleeding, applying firm and steady pressure. He spoke to Officer Anderson in a soft, reassuring voice, even though she couldn't hear him. He told her that help was on the way, that she was going to be okay, that he wouldn't leave her side. His actions, though simple, were crucial. He kept Officer Anderson stable, preventing her condition from deteriorating further. He was a beacon of calm in the midst of chaos, a young boy demonstrating a level of courage and maturity that belied his age. He was a true hero in the making. The sirens grew louder, and soon, an ambulance arrived, its lights flashing, its horn blaring. Paramedics rushed to Officer Anderson's side, their movements swift and efficient. They quickly assessed her condition and carefully lifted her onto a stretcher. As they prepared to take her away, one of the paramedics turned to Jacob, his face filled with admiration. "You did a great job, son," he said. "You saved her life. If you hadn't acted so quickly, she might not have made it." Jacob, his heart still pounding, felt a surge of pride and relief. He had never thought of himself as a hero, but in that moment, He knew that he had done something truly significant. He had helped someone in need, and that was all that mattered. As the ambulance sped away, carrying Officer Anderson to the hospital, Jacob stood there, watching until it disappeared from sight. He knew that he would never forget this day, the day he had saved a life, the day that had changed everything. He had no idea that his actions had set in motion a series of events that would not only impact Officer Anderson, but also his own family in ways he could never have imagined. The true extent of his heroism was yet to be revealed, and the city of Oakhaven was about to witness a miracle unfold before their very eyes. The news of the accident spread like wildfire through the Oakhaven Police Department. Officer Anderson, a beloved member of the force, was seriously injured, and her colleagues were filled with worry and concern. Captain David Miller, a seasoned veteran and a close friend of Officer Anderson, rushed to the hospital, his heart heavy with anxiety. He had known Emily for many years, had watched her grow from a rookie officer into a dedicated and courageous protector of the city. He couldn't bear the thought of losing her, especially now that she was carrying new life within her. At the hospital, the atmosphere was tense and somber. Doctors and nurses worked tirelessly to stabilize Officer Anderson, their faces betraying the gravity of the situation. She had suffered a severe concussion and internal bleeding, and her condition was critical. The medical team was particularly concerned about the well-being of her unborn child, knowing that the trauma could have devastating consequences. Hours passed, each one feeling like an eternity. Captain Miller and Officer Anderson's fellow officers waited anxiously in the waiting room, their hopes and fears intertwined. They shared stories about Emily, reminiscing about her infectious laughter, her unwavering dedication, and her unwavering belief in justice. They prayed for her recovery, for the safety of her baby, and for the strength to face whatever the future held. Finally, after what seemed like an endless wait, a doctor emerged from the emergency room, his face etched with a mixture of exhaustion and relief. He approached Captain Miller and the others, his voice calm but firm. "Officer Anderson is stable," he announced. "She's still in critical condition, but she's responding to treatment. The baby is also stable, but we'll need to monitor both of them very closely. It's going to be a long road to recovery, but she's a fighter, and she's got a strong will to live." A collective sigh of relief swept through the waiting room. Tears of joy streamed down their faces as they embraced each other, their hearts filled with gratitude. They knew that Emily was not out of the woods yet, but the news that she and her baby were stable gave them a renewed sense of hope. Captain Miller, his eyes filled with emotion, asked the doctor about the young boy who had helped Officer Anderson at the scene of the accident. He had heard about Jacob's quick thinking and bravery, and he wanted to express his gratitude personally. "The boy?" the doctor replied. "He was incredible. He kept Officer Anderson stable until the paramedics arrived. He applied pressure to the wound and kept her calm. He saved her life, and he saved her baby's life too. He's a true hero." Captain Miller was deeply moved by the doctor's words. He knew that he had to find Jacob and thank him for his extraordinary act of courage. He asked the doctor for Jacob's name and address, determined to show him the appreciation of the entire police department. Meanwhile, at Jacob's home, his parents, Michael and Sarah, were filled with a mixture of pride and concern. They had received a call from the police department, informing them about Jacob's involvement in the accident. They were relieved to hear that he was safe, but they were also worried about the emotional impact of the experience on their young son. When Jacob arrived home, his parents embraced him tightly, their eyes filled with tears. They listened intently as he recounted the events of the day, his voice trembling with emotion as he described how he had helped Officer Anderson. They were amazed by his courage and his quick thinking, but they were also aware of the potential trauma he had witnessed. "We're so proud of you, Jacob," his mother said, her voice choked with emotion. "You did an incredible thing. You saved a life. But we're also worried about you. Are you okay? Are you scared?" Jacob nodded slowly, his eyes downcast. "I was scared," he admitted. "But I knew I had to do something. Officer Anderson needed help, and I couldn't just stand there and watch. I just did what I thought was right. His parents hugged him again, their hearts swelling with love and admiration. They knew that Jacob had shown a level of maturity and compassion that was beyond his years. He was a special boy, a boy with a big heart and a strong sense of right and wrong. The next day, Captain Miller, along with several other police officers, visited Jacob's home. They wanted to express their gratitude and recognize his heroism. The entire neighborhood gathered to witness the event, their faces filled with pride and admiration for the young boy who had saved one of their own. Captain Miller presented Jacob with a certificate of commendation, praising his bravery and his quick thinking. He also gave him a special gift, a police badge with his name on it, making him an honorary member of the Oak Haven Police Department. "Jacob, you are a true hero," Captain Miller said, his voice filled with emotion. "You saved Officer Anderson's life, and you saved her baby's life too. You showed us all what it means to be a true member of this community. We are forever grateful for your courage and your compassion." The crowd erupted in applause, cheering Jacob's name. He stood there, his face flushed with pride, his heart filled with joy. He had never expected to be recognized for his actions, but he was deeply moved by the outpouring of gratitude. Officer Anderson's husband, David, also came to thank Jacob. He was a tall, strong man, but his eyes were filled with tears as he embraced Jacob. "Thank you," he whispered, his voice thick with emotion. "You saved my wife, and you saved my child. I don't know how I can ever repay you. You're a miracle, Jacob. You're a true miracle." Jacob, overwhelmed by the gratitude, simply smiled. He didn't need any reward or recognition. The knowledge that he had helped someone in need was enough for him. He had learned a valuable lesson that day, a lesson about the power of compassion, the importance of courage, and the incredible impact that a single act of kindness can have on the world. As Officer Anderson recovered in the hospital, a remarkable discovery was made, a discovery that would reveal a profound and unexpected connection between her and Jacob. This revelation would not only deepen the bond between them but also change the course of their lives in ways they could never have imagined. Officer Anderson's condition gradually improved, but the doctors continued to monitor her and her baby closely. The trauma of the accident had taken a toll on her body, and she needed time to heal. She was grateful for the support of her family, her friends, and her colleagues, who visited her regularly, offering words of encouragement and hope. During one of her visits, Captain Miller shared with Officer Anderson the story of Jacob's heroism. He described how the young boy had acted quickly and decisively, keeping her stable until the paramedics arrived. He told her about the certificate of commendation, the honorary police badge, and the outpouring of gratitude from the community. Officer Anderson listened intently, her eyes filled with tears. She was deeply moved by Jacob's bravery and his selflessness. She couldn't believe that a young boy had saved her life and the life of her unborn child. She knew that she had to meet him, to thank him personally for his extraordinary act of kindness. "I have to see him," she said, her voice weak but firm. "I have to thank him myself. He's a miracle, Captain. He's a true miracle." Captain Miller smiled. "I'll arrange it," he said. "I know Jacob and his family would be honored to meet you. He's a special boy, Emily. You'll see." A few days later, Officer Anderson was well enough to receive visitors. Captain Miller contacted Jacob's parents, and they eagerly agreed to bring him to the hospital. Jacob was excited and nervous about meeting the woman he had saved. He had thought about her often, wondering how she was doing and hoping that she and her baby were okay. When Jacob and his parents arrived at the hospital, they were escorted to Officer Anderson's room. As they entered, Jacob's eyes widened in surprise. Officer Anderson was sitting up in bed, looking pale but radiant. She smiled warmly at him, her eyes filled with gratitude. "Jacob," she said, her voice soft and gentle. "Thank you. Thank you for saving my life. Thank you for saving my baby's life. I don't know how I can ever repay you." Jacob blushed, his heart pounding in his chest. "You're welcome, Officer Anderson," he mumbled shyly. "I just did what I thought was right." Officer Anderson reached out and took Jacob's hand, her grip firm and warm. "You did more than what was right, Jacob," she said. "You were a hero. You were my hero. And you will forever hold a special place in my heart." As they talked, Officer Anderson learned more about Jacob and his family. She discovered that he was a bright and compassionate young boy, with a passion for helping others. She learned about his love for his family, his friends, and his community. She was deeply impressed by his maturity, his kindness, and his unwavering optimism. Jacob, in turn, learned more about Officer Anderson. He discovered that she was a dedicated and courageous police officer, who was deeply committed to serving her community. He learned about her love for her husband, David, and her excitement about becoming a mother. He was inspired by her strength, her resilience, and her unwavering belief in justice. As they shared their stories, a remarkable connection began to emerge, a connection that neither of them had expected. Officer Anderson's husband, David, a firefighter with the Oak Haven Fire Department, had been involved in a rescue operation a few years earlier. During that operation, he had saved a young boy from a burning building. That young boy was Jacob. Officer Anderson and Jacob were stunned by this revelation. It was an incredible coincidence, a twist of fate that seemed almost too unbelievable to be true. David had saved Jacob's life, and now Jacob had saved David's wife and child. It was as if the universe had conspired to bring them together, to create a bond that transcended the ordinary. "It's a miracle," Officer Anderson whispered, her eyes wide with amazement. "It's like we were destined to be connected. Your life was saved by my husband, and now you've saved my life. It's unbelievable." Jacob was equally astonished. He had never known that the firefighter who had saved him was Officer Anderson's husband. He had always been grateful to the man who had risked his life to save him, but he had never imagined that he would one day repay that debt in such a profound way. "I don't know what to say," Jacob said, his voice filled with awe. "It's like everything is connected. Like there's a reason for everything." From that day forward, the bond between Officer Anderson and Jacob deepened. They became more than just a grateful survivor and her rescuer. They became family. Officer Anderson and David treated Jacob like a son, inviting him to their home, sharing meals with him, and attending his school events. Jacob, in turn, looked up to them as role models, admiring their courage, their dedication, and their unwavering commitment to serving others. The revelation of their connection spread throughout the community, further solidifying the sense of unity and compassion that had emerged in the aftermath of the accident. People were amazed by the incredible coincidence, the twist of fate that had brought them together. They saw it as a sign of hope, a reminder that even in the midst of tragedy, there is always the possibility of redemption and renewal. The story of Officer Anderson and Jacob became a symbol of the power of human connection, the importance of community, and the enduring nature of love and gratitude. It was a story that touched the hearts of everyone who heard it, a story that reminded them of the extraordinary things that can happen when people come together to support and care for one another. And as Officer Anderson's due date approached, the entire city of Oak Haven waited with bated breath, eager to welcome the new life that had been saved by the courage of a young boy and the love of a dedicated police officer and her firefighter husband. The miracle that had begun with an act of heroism was about to unfold in its most beautiful and profound way. The impending arrival of Officer Anderson's baby brought a renewed sense of hope and anticipation to the city of Oak Haven. The community, still reeling from the initial shock of the accident, rallied around Officer Anderson and her family, eager to show their support and celebrate the miracle that was about to unfold. News of Officer Anderson's improving health and the baby's stable condition spread like wildfire, lifting the spirits of the city. People who had never met Officer Anderson felt a deep connection to her, drawn in by her courage, her resilience, and the extraordinary circumstances surrounding her pregnancy. They organized fundraisers to help with her medical expenses, sent her cards and flowers, and offered to help in any way they could. The Oak Haven Police Department, still deeply affected by the near tragedy, organized a special event to honor Officer Anderson and Jacob. They wanted to recognize their heroism and express their gratitude for the way they had brought the community together. The event was held at the City Hall, and hundreds of people attended, including police officers, firefighters, city officials, and ordinary citizens. During the event, Captain Miller spoke eloquently about Officer Anderson's dedication to the force, her unwavering commitment to serving the community, and her remarkable recovery. He also praised Jacob's bravery, his quick thinking, and his extraordinary act of kindness. He emphasized the profound connection between Officer Anderson and Jacob, highlighting the incredible coincidence that had linked their lives in such a meaningful way. Officer Anderson, her voice filled with emotion, addressed the crowd. She thanked everyone for their support, their prayers, and their unwavering belief in her and her baby. She spoke about the accident, the fears she had felt, and the overwhelming gratitude she had for Jacob, the young boy who had saved her life. "I don't know if I would be here today if it weren't for Jacob," she said, her eyes fixed on him. "He was my guardian angel. He was my hero. He showed me that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope, there is always kindness, and there is always the possibility of a miracle." Jacob, standing beside his parents, blushed as Officer Anderson spoke. He had never thought of himself as a hero, but he was deeply moved by her words. He was grateful for the opportunity to have helped someone in need, and he was humbled by the outpouring of love and support from the community. David, Officer Anderson's husband, also spoke at the event. He shared the story of how he had saved Jacob from the burning building years earlier, his voice thick with emotion as he described the incredible coincidence that had connected their lives. "I saved Jacob's life," he said, "and now he has saved my wife's life and my child's life. It's like the universe has a plan. Like we were meant to be connected. I am forever grateful to this young man, who has shown us all the true meaning of courage and compassion." The event culminated in a special ceremony where Officer Anderson and Jacob were presented with keys to the city, recognizing their extraordinary contributions to the community. The crowd erupted in applause, their cheers echoing through the city hall. It was a moment of unity, a moment of celebration, a moment of profound gratitude. As Officer Anderson's due date drew closer, the city's anticipation grew. People followed her progress with keen interest, eager to share in the joy of the new arrival. The police department organized a baby shower for her, and the firefighters offered to help with any renovations needed at her home. The community came together to support her in every way possible, demonstrating the true meaning of neighborly love. Finally, the day arrived when Officer Anderson went into labor. The news spread quickly throughout the city, and people waited anxiously for updates. Hours passed, filled with both excitement and concern. Everyone knew that the delivery would be challenging, given the trauma Officer Anderson had endured. At long last, the news arrived. Officer Anderson had given birth to a healthy baby girl. The city erupted in jubilation. People cheered, honked their horns, and lit up the night sky with fireworks. It was a moment of pure joy, a moment of triumph over adversity, a moment that united the entire community in celebration. The baby girl was named Hope, a name that symbolized the resilience of her mother, the courage of her rescuer, and the unwavering spirit of the community that had come together to support them. Hope's birth was seen as a miracle, a testament to the power of human connection and the enduring nature of love. When Jacob visited Officer Anderson and her baby in the hospital, he was overwhelmed with emotion. He held the tiny infant in his arms, feeling a sense of awe and wonder. He knew that he had played a part in bringing this precious life into the world, and that knowledge filled him with a profound sense of purpose. "She's beautiful," he whispered, his eyes filled with tears. "She's perfect." Officer Anderson smiled, her face radiant with happiness. "She is," she said. "And you helped make it possible, Jacob. You helped give her life. You're her guardian angel." From that day forward, Hope became a symbol of unity and hope for the city of Oak Haven. Her birth was celebrated as a victory, a reminder that even in the face of tragedy, life can prevail and love can conquer all. The community remained united, bound together by the extraordinary events that had brought them closer and by the miracle baby who had become a living testament to their shared humanity. The birth of baby Hope marked not only a personal triumph for Officer Anderson and her family, but also the beginning of a remarkable transformation within the city of Oak Haven. The events surrounding the accident and Hope's arrival had ignited a spark of compassion and unity, and this spark continued to grow, spreading its warmth and light throughout the community. The story of Jacob's heroism, Officer Anderson's resilience, and the miraculous birth of Hope resonated deeply with the people of Oak Haven. It reminded them of the importance of kindness, the power of human connection, and the extraordinary things that can happen when people come together to support one another. It inspired them to be better neighbors, to be more compassionate citizens, and to actively seek ways to make a positive impact on their community. One of the first and most significant changes was a renewed sense of trust and collaboration between the police department and the community. The accident had initially caused some tension, as people questioned the circumstances and expressed concern about the safety of their streets. However, the way Officer Anderson and Jacob had been embraced by the community, and the way the police department had shown their gratitude and support, helped to bridge the gap. Captain Miller, recognizing the importance of this newfound connection, initiated a series of community outreach programs. He organized town hall meetings where residents could voice their concerns, ask questions, and get to know the officers who served their neighborhoods. He established a youth mentorship program, pairing police officers with at-risk teenagers, providing them with guidance, support, and positive role models. He also implemented a community policing strategy, encouraging officers to get out of their patrol cars and interact with residents on a more personal level. These initiatives proved to be incredibly successful. The relationship between the police department and the community improved dramatically, leading to a decrease in crime rates and an increase in public safety. Residents felt more comfortable reporting suspicious activity, knowing that their concerns would be taken seriously. They also developed a greater appreciation for the challenges and sacrifices faced by law enforcement officers. The fire department, inspired by the example of their colleagues in the police force, also increased their community involvement. David Anderson, Officer Anderson's husband, became a vocal advocate for fire safety education, visiting schools, community centers, and senior living facilities to teach people how to prevent fires and what to do in case of an emergency. He also organized a program to provide smoke detectors to low-income families, ensuring that everyone in the city had access to this life-saving device. The city government also played a crucial role in fostering the spirit of unity and compassion. Mayor Thompson, deeply moved by the events surrounding Officer Anderson and Jacob, established a citywide initiative called Oak Haven Cares. This initiative aimed to promote volunteerism, encourage civic engagement, and provide resources to those in need. Under the Oak Haven Cares umbrella, numerous community projects were launched. Residents organized neighborhood cleanups, planted community gardens, and established food banks to help the hungry. They volunteered at local schools, hospitals, and senior centers, providing support and companionship to those who needed it most. They also created a scholarship fund for deserving students, helping them to achieve their educational goals. Jacob, now a local hero, became a leading figure in the Oak Haven Cares initiative. He organized a youth volunteer group, inspiring his peers to get involved in community service. He led fundraising drives, participated in neighborhood improvement projects, and mentored younger children. He became a role model for his generation, demonstrating that even young people can make a significant difference in the world. Officer Anderson, after returning to work on light duty, also dedicated her time to community service. She visited schools to talk to students about the importance of making good choices, respecting authority, and helping others. She volunteered at a local women's shelter, providing support and guidance to victims of domestic violence. She also became a strong advocate for maternal health, raising awareness about the challenges faced by pregnant women and the importance of prenatal care. The ripple effect of Jacob's heroism and Officer Anderson's resilience extended far beyond the city limits of Oak Haven. News of their story spread throughout the state and even across the country, inspiring other communities to embrace the values of compassion, unity, and civic engagement. Oak Haven became a model city, a shining example of what can be achieved when people come together to care for one another. Visitors from other cities came to Oak Haven to learn about its community initiatives, hoping to replicate its success in their own towns. The Oak Haven Cares program was adapted and implemented in other communities, leading to increased volunteerism and a stronger sense of civic pride. The story of Jacob and Officer Anderson was shared in schools, churches, and community centers, reminding people of the power of human kindness and the importance of helping those in need. The legacy of Hope, the miracle baby, also continued to inspire. As she grew, she became a symbol of hope and resilience, not only for Oak Haven but for the world. Her birth was celebrated annually with a citywide festival, a reminder of the day that a community came together to celebrate life, love, and the enduring power of the human spirit. And so, the story of the black kid who saved a pregnant officer became more than just a tale of heroism and gratitude. It became a story of transformation, a story of how a single act of kindness can ignite a chain reaction of positive change, a story of how a community can come together to overcome adversity and build a brighter future for all its members. It was a story that proved that even in the darkest of times, hope can prevail, love can conquer all, and miracles can happen when we believe in the power of human connection. As time passed, the city of Oak Haven continued to flourish, its spirit of unity and compassion deepening with each passing year. However, like any community, it also faced its share of challenges and trials. The story of Jacob, Officer Anderson, and baby Hope served as a constant reminder of the strength and resilience that could be found when people came together to support one another, providing a guiding light during difficult times. One of the first major challenges Oak Haven faced was an economic downturn. A large factory, a major employer in the city, closed its doors, leaving hundreds of people out of work. The unemployment rate soared, and many families struggled to make ends meet. The city government, along with community organizations, sprang into action, providing job training programs, financial assistance, and support services to those affected. Jacob, now a teenager, played a significant role in helping the community navigate this crisis. He organized a job fair, bringing together local businesses and unemployed residents. He also started a community garden, providing fresh produce to food banks and soup kitchens. He even used his artistic talents to create murals and public art installations, beautifying the city and boosting morale. Officer Anderson, who had returned to full duty, worked tirelessly to maintain law and order during this challenging time. She understood that economic hardship could lead to an increase in crime, and she was determined to prevent that from happening. She organized neighborhood watch programs, increased police patrols in high-crime areas, and worked closely with community leaders to address the root causes of crime. David Anderson, Officer Anderson's husband, also played a crucial role in helping the community cope with the economic downturn. He organized a volunteer firefighting program, training residents to assist the fire department in case of emergencies. He also worked with local businesses to ensure that they were following fire safety regulations, preventing potential disasters. Despite their best efforts, the economic downturn took a toll on the community. Many families were forced to leave Oak Haven in search of better opportunities. Businesses closed, and the city's tax revenue declined. The future of Oak Haven seemed uncertain. However, the spirit of unity and resilience that had been ignited by the events surrounding Officer Anderson and Jacob remained strong. The community refused to give up hope. They organized fundraisers, held community meetings, and worked together to find solutions. They attracted new businesses to the city, created new jobs, and supported local entrepreneurs. Slowly but surely, Oak Haven began to recover. The economy improved, the unemployment rate decreased, and the city started to thrive again. The trials they had faced had made them stronger, more united, and more determined to build a better future for themselves and their children. Another challenge Oak Haven faced was a series of natural disasters. A severe earthquake struck the city, causing widespread damage to homes, businesses, and infrastructure. A few years later, a devastating hurricane hit the coast, flooding entire neighborhoods and displacing thousands of residents. These disasters tested the limits of the community's resilience. However, they also brought out the best in people. Residents came together to help one another, providing shelter, food, and emotional support to those who had lost everything. Volunteers from neighboring cities and states poured into Oak Haven, offering their assistance. Jacob, now a young adult, played a crucial role in the disaster relief efforts. He organized a team of volunteers to help with search and rescue operations, distributed supplies to those in need, and helped to rebuild damaged homes and businesses. He worked tirelessly, day and night, demonstrating the same courage and selflessness he had shown as a young boy. Officer Anderson and David Anderson also played vital roles in the disaster response. Officer Anderson coordinated the police efforts, ensuring the safety and security of the affected areas. David Anderson led a team of firefighters, rescuing people from flooded homes and collapsed buildings. They worked side by side, their dedication and bravery inspiring others to join the relief efforts. In the aftermath of the disasters, Oak Haven faced the daunting task of rebuilding. The community came together, pooling their resources, skills, and determination. They worked tirelessly, day after day, to restore their city to its former glory. They rebuilt homes, repaired roads, and replanted trees. They also created new disaster preparedness plans, ensuring that they would be better equipped to handle future emergencies. Through it all, the story of Jacob, Officer Anderson, and Baby Hope served as a reminder of the community's strength and resilience. It reminded them that even in the darkest of times, they could overcome any challenge if they stood together, supported one another, and never gave up hope. The trials and triumphs of Oak Haven became a part of its history, a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. The city emerged from each challenge stronger, more united, and more determined to create a community where everyone felt safe, valued, and cared for. And the story of the black kid who saved a pregnant officer continued to be told, generation after generation, inspiring people to believe in the power of kindness, the importance of unity, and the possibility of miracles. The story of Jacob, Officer Anderson, and Baby Hope became a legend in Oak Haven, a timeless tale passed down through generations. It was a story of courage, compassion, unity, and the enduring power of the human spirit. It was a story that shaped the identity of the city, influencing its values, its institutions, and its people for many years to come. Jacob grew into a remarkable young man, dedicating his life to serving others. He became a teacher, inspiring his students to be kind, compassionate, and engaged citizens. He continued to be involved in community service, leading various initiatives to improve the lives of those in need. He never forgot the lessons he had learned as a young boy, and he always strove to make a positive impact on the world. Officer Anderson continued to serve in the police force, rising through the ranks to become a respected leader. She remained committed to community policing, building strong relationships with the residents she served. She also became a mentor to young officers, sharing her experiences and instilling in them the values of integrity, compassion, and dedication. David Anderson continued to serve as a firefighter, saving lives and protecting property. He became a fire safety advocate, educating the community about how to prevent fires and what to do in case of an emergency. He also worked to improve the training and equipment of his fellow firefighters, ensuring that they were always prepared to face any challenge. Baby Hope grew into a bright and beautiful young woman, embodying the values of her parents and her rescuer. She became a doctor, dedicating her life to healing others. She also became an advocate for social justice, working to promote equality and opportunity for all. She never forgot the extraordinary circumstances of her birth, and she always felt a deep connection to the city of Oak Haven and its people. The city of Oak Haven continued to thrive, its legacy of unity and compassion shaping its growth and development. The Oak Haven Cares initiative became a permanent institution, providing ongoing support to those in need and fostering a strong sense of civic engagement. The police and fire departments remained committed to community outreach, building trust and collaboration with the residents they served. The story of Jacob, Officer Anderson, and Baby Hope was immortalized in a series of public art installations throughout the city. A statue was erected in the city square, depicting Jacob helping Officer Anderson after the accident. A mural was painted on the wall of the city hall, depicting the birth of hope and the community's celebration. A park was named after Jacob, honoring his heroism and his dedication to community service. The Oakhaven Museum established a permanent exhibit dedicated to the story, featuring artifacts, photographs, and video testimonials. The exhibit became a popular destination for tourists and residents alike, attracting people from all over the world who wanted to learn about the city's remarkable history. The story was also incorporated into the city's school curriculum, teaching children about the importance of courage, compassion, and unity. Students learned about Jacob's bravery, Officer Anderson's resilience, and the community's response to the accident and Hope's birth. They were inspired to become active and engaged citizens, contributing to the betterment of their community. The legacy of Jacob, Officer Anderson, and Baby Hope extended beyond the city limits of Oakhaven, influencing other communities and inspiring people around the world. Their story was shared in books, movies, and documentaries, reaching millions of people and spreading its message of hope and inspiration. People from all walks of life were moved by the tale of the black kid who saved a pregnant officer. They were inspired by Jacob's selflessness, Officer Anderson's courage, and the community's unwavering support. They learned that even in the face of tragedy, miracles can happen, and that even the smallest act of kindness can have a profound impact on the world. The story became a symbol of the power of human connection, the importance of community, and the enduring nature of love and gratitude. It reminded people that we are all interconnected, that our actions can have far-reaching consequences, and that we have a responsibility to care for one another. And so, the legacy of Jacob, Officer Anderson, and Baby Hope lived on, shaping the city of Oakhaven and inspiring the world for generations to come. It was a legacy of hope, a legacy of love, a legacy of unity, a legacy of the enduring power of the human spirit. It was a legacy that proved that even in the darkest of times, the light of compassion can shine through, illuminating the path towards a brighter future for all. What an incredible journey, right? From that heart-stopping moment to the miracle of hope, this story reminds us of the power of human connection. I hope you felt as moved by Jacob's courage and Officer Anderson's strength as I did. If you want to be a part of more stories that celebrate the best of humanity, and if you believe in the power of community as much as we do here, please hit that like button. It tells us you want to see more content like this and helps us share these inspiring tales with the world. And let's keep this conversation going. What part of this story resonated with you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I love hearing from you and connecting with you on a deeper level. Finally, to make sure you don't miss any of our upcoming videos that shine a light on the incredible things people are capable of, please subscribe to the channel. By subscribing, you become a part of our growing family, a community that believes in the power of storytelling to uplift and inspire. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.